Hey there, my name is Ben Craven. I'm a prog rock, cinematic rock artist from Brisbane, Australia, trying to keep the spirit of the 70s alive with a healthy dose of 21st century film soundtrack music. Please check out some free music, but that's not why we're here. We're here to shoot out or just compare the Fender Hot Rod Deville 212. That's a Model 4, the latest model at the time of shooting, with a Quilter Mini 101 Reverb head, which is this thing here. So to do this comparison, what I did was simply record the Fender amp, and then I plugged the Quilter straight into the same speakers in the same cabinet, same microphone placement. All the controls on the amps are in the middle, 12 noon. So I'm not necessarily trying to match the amps, but just see what they, give in their basic settings. The Fender cabinet is mic'd up with an SM57, and it's just a bit off the dust cap, not pointing at the center, just a bit off onto the actual cone. The mic is going into a Focusrite 18i20 version 2. There is no EQ added to these recordings. There's no compression that I've done apart from what you're going to see on YouTube. All I've tried to do is match the volumes of these two amps. The guitar I'm playing is this one. It's a Squier. It's the Classic Vibe, Classic Vibe 50s Squier, except this has got noiseless Kinman pickups in it. But other than that, it's a Strat. I'll use the bridge position for clean tones, also the combined position there. And when I kick in a big muff. So this is the green Russian reissue. When I kick in the big muff, it's going to be on the bridge pickup. So I've got the Fender amp on the bright switch is on the bright position, not the normal position. The reason for that is when you've got a normal, it actually chops off some of the top end with a capacitor, so it's a bit more like for like with the Quilter in terms of a comparison. And also, as you turn up the volume anyway, the effectiveness of that normal switch reduces. So the first example is the Hot Rod Deville, played clean, reverb all the way off, all the controls at midway. For this next example, the Quilter head is plugged directly into the speakers in the Fender cabinet. The controls are all at noon again, except for the reverb, which is off. And here is a clean Strat. Next, we're going to turn on the reverb on the Fender Hot Rod Deville. It's a spring reverb, and I'll put it up about, I don't know, a third of the way, and do some kind of surfy stuff on again on a clean Strat. Here it goes. Now to compare with that, the Quilter Mini 101 reverb head. Again, reverb is about a third of the way up. All other controls at noon. So here's some more clean strat. And just for comparison, it's probably not very practical, but reverb all the way up on the Fender Hot Rod Deville. Here's some clean strat. And now back to the Quilter Mini 101 reverb. Reverb all the way up, a setting none of us will ever use. But here it is, just for sake of a comparison, again with the clean strat. What we're going to do now is plug in the big muff. You know, this is the green Russian reissue. You can see the knobs are set that way. Clearly I'm trying to get something Gilmore-ish out of this. So the big muff going into the Fender Hot Rod Deville. All controls at around noon. Reverb is turned off, and this is going into a predominantly clean setting, so you're really just hearing the way it reacts with the pedal. Big muff. And now the same settings on the big muff and guitar, this time going into the Mini 101, the Quilter, into the Fender speaker cabinet. Here it is. Well, here are my thoughts. At the clean settings, you know, I think they're fairly comparable. I think the biggest contributor to the clean sound is the speaker cabinet and the speakers. So this is the Model 4 of the Hot Rod Deville, and it's got two Celestion A-type speakers in there. And I think more than anything else, that's what we're hearing. Two clean amps driving these speakers. The Fender felt a bit spikier up the top, but then it had a roll off. Whereas the Quilter, I heard it's a bit more hi-fi up top, but the limit of that was rolled off by the speakers. But I could just hear that extra kind of hi-fi top end, which is maybe what we would expect from traditional solid-state amps. Also, I think the Mini 101 was a little more beefier down the bottom, whereas the Fender not quite as bassy. But again, all the tone controls were at noon. I don't think it would be much of an ask to better match these two sounds. Now for the big muff test, in terms of two clean amps taking a dirty pedal sound, I guess they felt fairly similar to me. I would be happy with either of those. Again, you're really hearing the speakers more than anything else. I didn't detect any high-end raspiness with the Quilter. It's, you know, it's fairly balanced up the top there. Now, one thing this video doesn't take into account is as you turn up the volume control on a Fender Hot Rod, that clean sound becomes dirtier and turns into a crunch. So there is that. The Quilter does kind of give you the option to simulate that with the gain control as well. So you can turn the gain control at any point and get that kind of Fender grit that you get as you drive the clean channel. So let me know your thoughts. I guess ultimately I was pleasantly surprised by how well the Quilter compared with the Fender, or how close things were. I did not expect that. And again, just to point out some of the advantages of this, it's, you know, very light. Of course, it is a Class D power section, which if that's not your thing, then that's not your thing. But if you can deal with that, the weight of this head versus the weight of the Fender head is a big difference. So enough from me. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.